live. Polished professionals. It's Nino, everybody's favorite Nino.
Hi, everybody.
It's time for ScareHouse Weekly Live, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching live, if you are, watching this later on, thanks for checking us out again. If you like the video, share it with your friends. There's a little follow button at the bottom, so you can be notified whenever we go live in fancy time.
And why wouldn't you want to do that?
You're so dark. You should illuminate your face. And
oh, that's too much. Nobody wants to see that.
And it's very dark because we are actually in the Infernal forest. If you you may have remembered this from last season, part of one of the last scenes in Infernal is a giant forest of trees. So I'm going to flip this bad boy around. Let's get scared. But it's very dark. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make... Nino was one of the primary folks that designed and built and made this beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the whole forest, and Nino is going to tell us about where he got his inspiration, where kind of a lot of this stuff came from, because some of these things came from a very well-known movie. I'm giving away spoilers, but there's also some Easter eggs in here too. That's Nino.
Hello. So yeah, a lot of the things in this room were from. I think we've mentioned it before. We actually acquired a lot of items from the last Witch Hunter movie, and so we ended up with I think two or three giant trucks full of all these sticks and twigs and things that you see, and like this lovely sculpture here was also part of that.
I believe this was the witch.
Yep, yeah, some type of shrine, I believe. But yeah, so we had all of this stuff, and while we were planning Infernal, we knew we wanted the ending to be something kind of surreal, and all of us agreed on a forest type setting, and so I mean it worked out perfectly. So basically it was like, hey Nino, here's 2 trucks full of twigs to make a forest. So we had to make that happen, and yeah, as Dutters had mentioned, like as far as the Easter eggs, there are a lot of fun things in here. There's this guy right in front of us here. Actually, last year would have been Krampus. That you couldn't really see him very well because it was backlit intentionally, and he would come at you, and he was sitting up a lot higher too. But we put him in here just because, again, this room is pumped full of fog while we're operating. So even now, you can't really see him when he's there. You could just make out that shadow, which is an awesome entrance into the room.
Can you show us his hand real quick?
Yeah.
You may have remembered this guy, this big old paw reaching out at you.
Yep.
As you were leaving the Krampus haunt.
Yeah, and I don't remember the artist I don't know who made the robe for him with all the fur and everything. But it really is a beautiful piece, and then the custom horns as well. But yeah, so we wanted to make a big impact upon the entrance of this room, and he worked out really well, because even like where Dutters is standing is practically the entrance to the room. So he's only like 10 feet. Maybe she's a little bit forward, so like 10, 12, 15 feet from the entrance. He's standing there, and you can't even see it when you walk into this room because there's so much fog in here. And one of the ideas I had was to have these giant, like stalagmite type things, ribs coming up that you walk through on the entrance to the room. And I forget who it was on the design team that said, "Oh, you mean like the elephant graveyard in The Lion King?" And I was like, I guess it kind of is like that, actually. So yeah, we have these large, it feels like fingers reaching down over top of you. And it's like the depth of view in this room with the fog is just enough that you can make those out as you're coming in. You have the large shadow figure ahead of you. and it's really impactful. I had the pleasure of playing a character in here several nights this past season, and it was very rewarding to work in this room that we work so hard on and watch people come in and just go, what is this? Because if those of you that have been here, you know the rest of the hunt is pretty different. Whenever you come into this room, it is a complete 180. It's like really, really shocking change. So, yeah, I mean, that's our entrance here, and then...
Can you explain how you made these? Giant.
Yeah, I had drawn up. It's a 2x4 structure underneath, and I had drawn them up all pretty similar. You can kind of make out it's a triangle at the bottom, but the top piece comes all the way up and then over, and then there's a support across each one of them. And we had one of our guys, Matt, came in and he used my drawing and he just cranked those things out in like a couple hours, I think. So that's the structure. And then Nicole, who everybody's seen on ScareHouse Live a couple times recently, she did the rock finish. I believe it's muslin that she used, and like a wood glue, like an Elmer's type glue, PVA, I think that's called. And that hardens it. Like they're pretty firm if you tap on them, which you're not allowed to do, so don't do that. But so yeah, and then they did an awesome finishing technique. You could see all the speckles. They did a dark finish and then came in and did some like lighter, moderate gray, and then on highlights with real bright white. And then we even added the moss onto them to add another layer of realism. So cool. And again, it's one of those things, we add all of this insane detail and pump the room full of fog. You can hardly see it anyway, but we know it's there, and if you get close enough to it by accident, it's impressive. And then to create the path, what we ended up doing is we made like a 2x4 structure. Basically, I think they were 3 or 4 foot wide, 2x4s up both sides, and a piece of thick plywood across the back. And we took some of the longest pieces, like Dutters. If you look over around here, you can point the camera there. You can see all the tops. We used the nice, thick, tall pieces up each side of that frame, and then filled it in with different pieces going across and shorter ones going up, and created sections of panels basically so that we can place these pieces in here to create the path. And then after all that was in, then we came in and did some things overhead as well.
Super cool. And there's some mixing of some bones and things in here too, huh?
Yes, that was the we had 2 giant boxes full of bones. The majority of them are in what we call the bone chapel and the hallway from the chapel into this room. Lots and lots of bones in there, but we certainly worked some into this set as well. Yeah. And as you can see there are some fresher gore as well. Throughout here, most people are like too scared when they're coming through to even notice, but there are like more fresh pieces. Like this is one of our favorites. The look on this guy's face is just incredible. That's going to be the thumbnail for the video, isn't it?
Sorry guys, that's going to be surprise.
But yeah, I mean, just hanging in different areas. There's feet and hands.
There was a moment where I panned over and I thought that was your hand, Oh, there's Nino pointing at something.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to find.
Super cool. And then there's another piece back here in the corner that you probably don't get a chance to see as much as you should either. That particular prop.
Yeah. Yep, that was from Creepy Collection, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really cool demon there. And it's set back in the corner, and we had a special light effect on him. similar to a water effect that you typically see, but it was like red and orange. So it was really, and the rest of the room was lit in purples and oranges. We wanted to not do the typical red, orange, yellow like you would see, you know, in a hell-like scene. So we went with purple and orange, which turned out really awesome. And then having him back in that corner with that punch of red on him really made it stand out.
And I don't know if you can see, but just how much went into building this whole, like Nina said, these are just massive walls of sticks.
Yeah. Yep. There were 3 or 4 of us working just 2 nights a week because we were the night watch crew, as we call it, and we worked just 4 hours a night after our regular jobs. We came in here, we worked 2-3 days a week on this for a couple of weeks, getting all these pieces stitched together, and then, you know, all the overhead stuff worked in there, and then of course then we had to go through and, like, you know, find all these sharp edges and sand them. And
yeah, because that's very important, because customers will run into things.
Yeah.
And we do have several members of our crew of varying heights go through and test their faces. And
Dutters and Nicole are the polar opposites there.
And then another one, that's the only thing I can say I did in this whole room was, that's my high five hand. It's actually in my height, so I can give it a high five if I need one on the way through. But also, when you come around the corner here, something else you really might not get to see is there's another massive structure.
Yes, and this is a similar fabrication process to what we did on those large ribbed fingers in the front. We had put some walls up, and then we came through here and just built random 2x4 shapes, and Nicole came in and did that same finish again with the muslin and the PVA glue. And actually, here's another thing. You couldn't see this on the other one, but this is that great stuff. You posted that thing not too long ago with the Haunters
toolkit.
Yeah, the starter kit or something.
Yes.
But yeah, this is actually that great stuff glue. We put just a little bit on there, and then you keep smearing it around, and it creates this wonderful texture for rock and stone.
And then just a couple more things back here I want to show you. Mm-hmm. The stalactites and the stalagmites, and please forgive me, I forget which is which at this point. I remember there was a rule for it with remembering which one is up and which one hangs down. But yeah, like this, it's a whole area, and then you got to where the Overlord lived, and this door is actually just a wooden door.
Yep. It's got some texture on there as well. To look like an old rusted metal door made up of a whole bunch of panels.
Wood. Amazing. Yeah, so this room is just one of the coolest rooms we have here, and I don't know if you can kind of get well, I guess it's not really. We don't have all the lights on, so it's not as easy to see, but it's this huge space in here, and there's a little friend in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
She's hiding right there, and a little ponytail, someone's head.
Yeah.
But I think I want to do something fun. The backstage area of the summoning is officially kind of no more. So I think let's sneak back there and not tell Nicole. Shh.
Oh, boy.
So you're gonna
love surprises.
Oh, who doesn't love surprises? You can just watch me as I walk back. This is my face as I walk around. Oh, look at that. But we're going to walk up the main actor hallway again to the backstage area. And you can sing with us. There's some karaoke. Yeah. And I'm going to flip the camera around so you can... But back down the main actor hallway. Can't show you too much because things are actually starting to really come together here. Scary Dutters coming through. Okay, so previously the theater... Not so much the theater anymore. Sneaky walls. Shh, don't tell anybody I'm showing you this. Sneaky walls. But this was when you were exiting the theater. You would walk up these stairs, and this was your backstage area, which is kind of no more.
Yeah.
They're
I actually had to leave a little bit early yesterday, so I haven't seen it completely emptied either.
yeah, there's you would walk up these stairs, you would zigzag back and forth, and then this would be the green room where we'd have the dolls. You may remember her. She scares the crap out of us a lot.
Yep.
And then you would walk into the last room, summoning. And it's not really here anymore. So they've made some amazing progress. Our build team, fantastic. I cannot go on enough about complimenting them and just like the amazingly hard work, because it could be literal a day. I mean, you know.
This was 2 days to completely disassemble this entire backstage area. The whole backstage and where the great one was. You remember all the, yeah, well, I can't even, I'm pointing to them like they're there, but they're gone. All the skulls and the chandelier of skulls and all that work. All got struck down in about 2 days.
Sure took us a lot longer to put it up.
Yeah.
And then if you really are a big fan of ScareHouse, you may have remembered the structure from the barn of Forsaken.
Oh, yeah. That's going back a ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, does anybody have any questions for us before we take? For the weekend, this weekend is our ScareHouse picnic.
Yes.
We have a family picnic. Oh gosh, every year to get together with our cast and crew because we like each other. Beyond working together, we like it. I know, we like to hang out with each other. So look for some pictures from the picnic tomorrow. But that's pretty much it for us for the week. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, share it with your friends. I saw a couple people shared it, and our friends. Right. I saw Brittany said hi again. She had to leave early. She's always, hello. She's always saying hello to us. But we will see you guys next Friday. And I think we're getting into Midwest Haunters that weekend, or we have one more weekend. Ooh.
It is.
It is Midwest Haunters, so it might be from Midwest Haunters. Teasers. Well, thank you so much for checking out our video this week. Have a nice weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Finish.